Okay, so here we are getting into part 4 of our exam review. The final part, triangle similarity. We just recently did triangle similarity. We did a quiz on it like a week ago, so it should be pretty fresh in your head. Most of this is just setting up your proportions and cross multiplying in order to solve. So let's get started here with number 1. Find the length of AP. Now the first thing I'd like to do is identify with X where AP is. So AP is this length here. So we're finding that length, which I'm just going to label the X there. So as far as proportions go, there's many ways you could set this up as long as you have corresponding pieces together. So for example, we can say 16 to 6, which is 16 over 6, as x to 5, as x equals 5. That would work. That would be fine. Other ways you could set it up, it doesn't have to just be that one. You could say 16 to the x, so 16 over x, as the 6 over 5. Right? Now, you'll notice both of these, what you're going to have when you cross multiply, you're going to have 16 times 5 still. You're going to have 6 times x still. So either way, it's still going to be set up the same way. You still get the same result. Of course, if you reverse these and say x to 16, 5 to 6, that's fine. Or if you say 6 to 16 and 5 to x, that's fine. You don't want to do something like saying 16 to 6 and then 5 to x, because you'll notice you'll be going backwards, right? 16 to 6 and then 5 to x. That would be a bad way of setting it up. So you do want to keep things proportionally matched. So if 16 goes to 6, then x goes to 5. And then you should be fine as far as you've set it up. Now you just got to cross multiply and go. So when we cross multiply, we'll have 16 times 5 and 6 times x. So 6 times x will be 6x, and 16 times 5 is going to be 80. So I have 6x equals 80, then we just divide by 6. So we end up with x equal to 13.33 repeating. For number 2, which of the statements is true? So again, we're just kind of making matching pairs, identifying matching pairs of proportions. So KH, which is this side, to LH, which is this side, to, let me use a different color, JL to GK. Now it looks like it matches, but remember, what we had done is we had said KH to HL, or KH to LH, but then we said JL to GK, so we went the opposite direction. So because of that, that's not good. So we don't want to use it. The next one, GK to LH. So GK is this one, and LH is up here. Now already this is a bad start because we've already crisscrossed. So that's already it's not going to work. But just to see what it matches up with, we'll play along. JL to KH. So we have this kind of crisscrossing thing going on between the sides, which we don't want. That's not going to work for us either. For C, we have GK to KH. So GK to KH. I'm going to make this one a little thicker to indicate that it was second. GK to KH to JL to LH. Now this is perfect. This is exactly what we want because we have this side of that one and then this side of that one. And that's proportional. That's good. So C seems to be the answer. Let's look at D just to see what it is, though, to be sure. GH, so GH is the whole length here, to JH, which is the whole length here, so that's fine. And then pair with GK to KH. So that's not good. What we essentially have is we're saying, this side to that side, but then we're saying this side to itself again. So that's not a proportional match, so that's not a good choice either. So C is the answer you'd want there. So number 3, before rock climbing, Fernando, who is 6 feet tall, wants to know how high he will climb. He places the mirror on the ground and walks 5 feet backwards until he can see the top of the cliff in the mirror. So our cliff side is over here. This is our cliff. Let's start labeling some things that we know. Now, Fernando is 6 feet tall, and the mirror is going to be, this is where the mirror is on the ground. He placed it on the ground and walked 5 feet backwards. So this is 5 feet here. He walked 5 feet backwards. And if the mirror is 50 feet from the cliffside, so the distance from the mirror to the cliffside is 50 feet. So that's going to be, this is 50. What's the height of the cliff? So the height of the cliff is X. It's what we don't know. So we're going to set up our proportions. So I like to say, maybe 6 goes with 5, 6 to 5, as X to 50, the height of the cliff to 50. So this is a good way to set up your cross multiplying. So you remember you're going with height to the ground. So we have height on top, ground on bottom. And then the other side, we have the height to the ground again. So the height of the cliff to the length on the ground. So the proportions match. You don't want to say something like 50 over x, though, because 6 to 5 and then 50 to x, you can see we're making a mismatch. We're going one way on one side, and then we're going the opposite way on the other. So you don't want to say that. You want to say, 6 to 5, x to 50, everything matches proportionally, lines up, we're good. So now it's just cross multiply. So we're going to have 50 times 6, which is 300, and 5 times x, which makes 5x. So divide by 5. And we're going to have 60. X is equal to 60. So the height of the cliff is 60 feet tall. Same idea with number 4 is just setting up the proportions. So I like to go with the length to the base, so 37 to 18, and then the length to the base, x to 25. Now it looks like these are going backwards, but they are kind of inverted opposite images. So we are still going with the longest side with the shorter, 37 to 18, and then the longer side to the shorter, x to 25. So everything does kind of still match. If you flip your paper completely around, right, 180 degrees, you'll see that the 37 corresponds with that x, so they're together, and the 18 corresponds with that 25, so they're together. So everything, if you line it up like this, you have your proportions proper. So now it's just cross multiplying. So we're going to have 18 times x makes 18x, and 37 times 25 to make 925. So just divide this by 18, and we'll have x equal to 51.38. Well, round up, we'll say 51.39, 51.39. All right. Number 5, solve for x. So again, let's set up our proportions. So I'm going to say maybe x goes to 12, so x to 12 has x minus 2 to 8. X minus 2 to 8. So still going to be the same. Still set up your proportions like normal. Set up your fractions like normal. Just got to cross multiply. So x times 8, that's going to be 8x. The catch here is when you do 12 times x minus 2 and you cross multiply there, the 12 gets multiplied to both of those terms. So 12 times x becomes 12x, and 12 times negative 2 is negative 24. So it's very important you understand that. Essentially, what you're doing is, again, 12 times x minus 2, multiplying and then distributing to get 12x minus 24. So when we solve it, we have to combine our x terms. So let's subtract 12x to combine it over with 8x, and that's going to give us a negative 4x equal to negative 24. And then when you divide by negative 4, we end up with x equal to 6 as our answer. Number 6, are the triangles similar? Explain your reasoning. So to describe they're similar, we just have to set up their ratios and compare. So the shortest side over here is CD, which is 5. And the shortest side over here is NL, which is 12. So 5 to 12, the shortest with the shortest. The medium sides are 7 to 16.8. So 7 to 16.8. And the longest side is 10 to 24. So now all we're doing is comparing these fractions to see if they're balanced. So 5 divided by 12 is 0.416 repeating. So 0.416 repeating. 7 divided by 16.8 is also 0.416 repeating. And then 10 divided by 24 is again 0.416 repeating. So all the numbers match, are the same, so we can say yes, similar. All the proportions line up. And then that work is my explanation. Showing my work is explaining my answer. I didn't just say yes because whatever. I didn't say no because whatever. I said yes, and then I showed you why. I proved why. I have all the work worked out. So now this drawing illustrates what type of similarity. So we have side proportions. So 9 with 22.5. We have 20 with 8. So, I guess if we're doing it this way, it should be 8 to 20. Right? And then we have the angle between them lines up as well. So we have two sides and an angle. And so, yes, these are similar triangles, and they're similar because of side, angle, side, right? Side, angle, side. The angles between the two sides, we just talked about this with triangle congruence. This is side, angle, side similarity. The triangles formed by two ladders leaning against a wall are similar. How long is the shorter ladder? So the length of the ladder we're looking for is x. So we're looking for how long that ladder is, right? Not the base of this. We're not looking for how far away from the wall it is. We're looking for the length of the ladder itself. So we just have to, again, set up our proportions and cross multiply. So let's say 35 goes with 28, 35 with 28. Then this would be as x goes to 4, as x goes to 4. So now just cross multiply, solve like we've been doing. So we'll have 28 times x to be 28x, and 35 times 4, which is 140. So divide by 28, and we end up with x equal to 5. So the ladder is 5 feet long. At the same time of day, a man who is 79 inches tall casts a shadow 61.5 inches long. So a man that is 79 inches tall casts a shadow that is 61.5 inches long. And his son casts a shadow that is 47 inches long. So how tall is his son? So we can set up our proportions and cross multiply like every other problem here. So 79 to 61.5 is the same as x to 47. So just cross multiply and solve. So 79 times 47 ends up being 3,713. So 3,713 equal to 61.5 times x, so 61.5x. Divide both sides by 61.5, and we end up with 60.4 if you want to round. Say x equals 60.4 inches. And number 10, pretty much the same question. A woman who is 73 inches tall. So I'm just going to use the same picture I had, just change the numbers here. So we had 73 inches tall woman with a 39-inch shadow. Daughter casts a 25-inch shadow. How tall is the daughter? So just using the same picture, set up my ratio. So we have 73 to 39 as x to 25. So we cross multiply, and we'll have 39x equal to 25 times 73, which is 1,825. Now divide by 39 on both sides, and we're going to get 46.8. So x equals roughly 46.8. So daughter is about 46.8 inches tall. Now let's move on to number 11. So we have a tower, 85 feet tall, and its shadow is 25 feet long. The nearby shed casts a shadow that is only 4 feet long. How tall is the shed? So it's pretty much the same problem. Same ratios, 85 to 25 as x is to 4. So just cross multiply, and we're good. So we'll have 25 times x, and then 4 times 85, which is 340. So divide by 25 on both sides, we get 13.6. X is 13.6. So the shed is 13.6 feet tall. Number 12, a 25-foot tall house. So 25-foot tall house casts a shadow that is 14 feet long. And a tree in the backyard casts a shadow that is 21 feet long. How tall is the tree? So same ratios. So 25 to 14 as x to 21, and cross multiply. So we have 14x equals 25 times 21, which is 525. And then just divide by 14. So we end up with x equal to 37.5 feet tall. That's the tree. A 21-foot tall tree. So 21-foot tall tree casts a 10-foot shadow. Same time, a flagpole casts a 14-foot shadow. How tall is a flagpole? Again, same problem essentially. We have 21 to 10, and then x to 14. We cross multiply. So 10x equals 21 times 14, which is 294. When we divide by 10, we end up with x equal to 29.4. That's our answer. So flagpole, 29.4 feet tall. And the last one, we have a Walgreens sign that is 30 feet tall, casts a shadow, it's 22 feet long. A CVS sign casts a shadow that is 26 feet long. How tall is a CVS sign? So we have 30 to 22 as x to 26. And cross multiply, we have 22 times x, and then 30 times 26 is 780. Divide by 22, and we have 35.5. We'll round it up, say x equals 35.5 feet tall. So that makes sense. And the one other thing you can do just to make sure your answer makes sense is notice, look, the Walgreens sign and the CVS sign, the Walgreens sign has a shorter shadow than CVS. CVS shadow is longer, which must mean CVS sign is taller. So our answer being taller than 30, right, bigger than 30, is good news. If our answer ended up being smaller than 30, we would wonder, how is that possible, right? That would be something as a red flag to me. It's something that tells me I did something wrong. Because why would a shorter sign, cast a longer shadow than a sign, than another sign, right? So if the shadow is longer here, then that means the sign is longer here. So our answer being bigger than 30 tells us, a good thing. Just something to kind of be aware of. All right, that's it for part 4 review. We've pretty much covered everything. We're getting close to the exam, so just make sure you're still studying. Make sure you remember this for Thursday's exam. See you guys then.